of Morgan Creasy, Tony Driscoll, Jason Paynes haven't set a time, but I can see, it's hard to miss him, Morgan Creasy on that fluorescent yellow Suzuki. Of course, a two-time Thunderbike Ultra champion, the first of which he just pipped Stacey Kilworth to the championship, the second of Stephen Butterworth, but that was a couple of years ago now. Green flag at the back, red lights are on, out go the lights, and we are racing for the Extremes and the Ultras, and it's a good launch from Clinton Wood. And it's Tyler Donovan, in fact, the reigning Thunderbike Ultra champion, who's looking to go the long way round, but eventually slots into third position on that white and red #1 Kawasaki ZX-10R. Looks like Don Gilbert just losing a little bit of pace there compared to Justin Rose, of course. Don Gilbert on the Thunderbike Extreme machine. That's the GSX-R 750 SRAD for him. And Justin Rhodes on that white and black #23 Yamaha R1. But it's Ramon Hunt now who leads the way ahead of Clinton Wood. Tyler Donovan, Don Gilbert up next. Everybody through safely on this opening lap. The field rounded out at the moment by the 41 of David Abraham as they peel in towards Surtees and up towards Clearways we go. Round Clearways and on to Clark Curve, and it is Ramon Hunt on the Yamaha who leads from the 85 of Clinton Wood on the Suzuki. Then it is up next, that's the #1 Kawasaki of Tyler Donovan, then the Yamaha of Justin Rose. So three different manufacturers bike within the top three positions. Justin Rose, fourth on the road, fourth in class, ahead of Don Gilbert, fifth on the circuit, but first in the Thunderbike Extremes, ahead of Tony Russo by 0.3 of a second. Now, Tony Russo, he took the victory earlier on today over Don Gilbert by a quarter of a second, but Don Gilbert was the man who took the win yesterday over Tony Russo. So at the moment they are level on points at the top, but of course there is a long way to go. Clinton Wood fires it up the inside of Ramon Hunt for the Thunderbike Ultras and takes that race lead away from the #141 Yamaha as it's getting a little bit darker as these clouds start to come over. Please say it isn't so, as Clinton Wood gets the power on and leads at the end of lap #2. First of the flying lap times coming in, and it's a 49.931 for Clinton Wood. Sub 50 second already on that first flying lap. I can see Morgan Creasy just flashing through now. He's up the inside of Fu Hills as they peel in towards Paddock Hill Bend. But the race leaders, there is a bit of a gap there between the top three and the chasing pack. It's first, second and third, Wood, Hunt, and then Donovan. Bit of a gap back to Justin Rhodes, who has Don Gilbert for very close company. But of course they are in different classes. Connor Swire up next on that white and red #20 Suzuki. I can see that there's Morgan Creasy still holding that position ahead of Fu Hills, but a second or so behind James Underhill. And Clinton Wood has gone purple in sector #1, so he's really trying to pull the pin at the end of this third lap over Ramon Hunt. And Tyler Donovan's going with them. Not sure what happened to Tyler Donovan earlier on, but he just did not look comfortable. His fastest lap of a 50.6 earlier on compared to the 49.7 yesterday, but I think they may have an issue with his transponder as well. So if you are watching at home on the TSL timing screen, you'll see Tyler Donovan jumping around the timing screen, but he is right there in third position in the wheel tracks of Ramon Hunt, because Clinton Wood has opened up his gap to half a second now over Ramon Hunt, and he's increased it by a further 1/10 of a second as they peel through the right-hander up there at Clearways. You can see James Underhill just fighting his way through the field as well as they peel in towards Surtees, but it is Clinton Wood coming around Clark Curve at the end of lap #4. Last time around a 49.8, this time around it's a lower 49.8, and to be exact it's a 0.808 for your race leader of Clinton Wood. The gap is now 0.792 between him and Ramon Hunt, with Tyler Donovan only a 1/10 of a second away, who has the fastest lap of the race of a 49.716. Great battle for the lead here as Clinton Wood again looking strong as he goes in towards Graham Hill Bend. Now through the left at Surtees, sector times coming in, and it's purple for the #141 of Ramon Hunt. The gap was 0.7 and he's closed it by about a 1/10.5 of a second or so. So it is hovering around the 6/10 or 7/10 of a second gap between Clinton Wood and Ramon Hunt. But again, already, such is the pace of these guys. They're back with us here at the start-finish line. It's the fastest lap of the race of a 49.588 for Ramon Hunt. We'll wait for Tyler Donovan's time to get picked up on the screen here, but he is still there in third position. Battle of the Extremes, it's still Don Gilbert who holds the advantage over Tony Russo, and they have a big advantage over third of the extremes, which is Fu Hinnels, but he has Sean Wallace for close company, less than 0.4 of a second between Hinnels and Wallace. Leaders into the left-hander. Looks like Tyler Donovan's just lost a little bit of time in that opening split. Of course, just to remind us, the opening split is from the start line round to the braking zone for Surtees, and the second split is from Surtees back round to the finish line. But it's Clinton Wood who is there, and he's there now with an advantage that was 0.58 of a second, and it's now 0.56 of a second. Just goes to show how evenly matched these guys are at the head of the field. And Tyler Donovan there, a 50.0 lap on that previous lap, so he lost 1/10 of a second or so from the Dicing duo in front of him. And I can see that Justin Rose is still keeping the number 34 S-Rad Suzuki of Don Gilbert just behind him, and Tony Russo is right there as well. So here comes Don Gilbert up the inside of Rose, and will he run wide? He does, and it's Justin Rose who gets the undercut and fires that big Yamaha R1 up the inside of that rather dated now GSX-R 750 of Don Gilbert. Back at the front, and the leaders coming back towards us, and this is the end of lap number 7, so 3 laps to go in this Thunderbike Ultra and Thunderbike Extreme race, and it's a personal best lap of the race for Clinton Wood, but a fastest lap of the race for Tyler Donovan. He was 1/10 of a second behind Ramon Hunt as they came across the line, but he's making a challenge up towards Druids, and it's Tyler Donovan side by side with Ramon Hunt all the way around the Druids, and it's Tyler now up into second position. Ramon tries to have a look at the inside, but Tyler is there and defends that second position perfectly. In towards the second sector through Surtees now. Of course, all of this is unfolding behind your race leader of Clinton Wood. Don Gilbert back up the inside of Justin Rose, but Justin Rose uses the superior power of that R1 to get back in front of Don Gilbert, who almost tags that rear wheel going into Surtees, but he's got it all under wraps now. Tony Russo there, ready to pick up any pieces if any were to fall his way, but the leaders now starting their penultimate lap, and it's Clinton Wood with a half a second advantage. Tyler Donovan with the fastest lap of the race yet again with a 49.180. Lap record is a 48.4, so we shan't worry about that. That went to Kieran Smith a year or two ago, but it is Tyler Donovan who is the fastest man on the circuit, and he better make it pretty sharpish because we've got 1.5 laps remaining in this race, so only about 2 miles of racing action left for the Ultras and Extremes in this particular race. And I'll tell you what, the gap between the top 3 1 lap ago was 0.830 of a second, but it looked as though that Tyler Donovan and Ramon Hunt are starting to mount a challenge now on Clinton Wood. And Ramon goes purple in sector number 1. He's really pushing on now. He got a taste for victory earlier on today, and he wants more of the gold medals to go home with. And it's a 49.2 for Ramon. He was the quickest out of the leading trio on that previous lap, but we are on the final lap now of this Thunderbike Ultra and Extreme race. Round Druids they go. It's Clinton Wood with the advantage. Looks like Ramon Hunt may have made a slight mistake here and has lost 1/10 of a second as they go in towards Graham Hill Bend. But Tyler Donovan, he doesn't know when he's out of it, and that could well prove to be a strength in this final race because he's there right on the exhaust pipe of Clinton Wood through the right-hander now of Clearways, and it looks like Clinton Wood is just so strong around that section of the circuit. Pulled out about a bike length or so, and that could well prove to be enough as he gets the power on round Clark Curve, and the checkered flag goes out for Clinton Wood, who takes his first victory of the weekend, and that is 3 medals over the course of this weekend so far. Justin Rose is there in 4th place, and it will be another victory, so it's 2-1 now to Don Gilbert in the Thunderbike Extremes. Tony Russo takes 2nd position. Connor Swire next up, 7th place overall, but rounds out the top 5 in the Thunderbike Ultras. Here's a 3-way fight coming towards us now, and it is Raymond Stagg who picks up the next place. That's 6th position in the Ultras ahead of James Underhill and Morgan Creasy. 3rd of the Extremes, again it's Fu Hinnels. So that is 3 third positions from the 3 races we've had so far this weekend, as it just gets the better of Sean Wallace by less than 1/10 of a second.
I tell you what else is interesting, mate. You say 3 podiums there. Also had 3 different winners as well.
Yes.
So that augurs well for a very good championship, doesn't it? Both Tyler, Clinton, and of course Ramon have all won a race. So that's absolutely brilliant stuff. We look forward. Thunderbike Ultras, I think a couple of years ago, had 7 different winners across the season. To have 3 in the first 3 races is absolutely brilliant. Hello.